There we go. Turn the volume up. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of the legendary virtual happy hour. Here we go. Let's roll the open in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Yes. I'm double checking to make sure that we are rock and roll. I should turn the volume down just a tad here. Let's just see. Yeah, looks like we're doing pretty good here. Believe all good. Good to see Brother Daryl out there. Mom, I'm about to check in a moment. Let's just make sure that we're rocking and rolling. And I think that we are. Yes, we are. There we go. Got the volume sort of adjusted. Actually, move this around. Give me just a second. Doing a little moving around here in the studio today. I've kind of had it. I've kind of moved it around about 3 or 4 times this week. So let me pull this off the screen too. Usually on Wednesday. By Wednesday, I've got everything kind of set up for the rest of the week, because usually, at least in the summertime, we'd have a Wednesday show with the T-Bones, and then we'd have this show on Wednesday afternoon, and then I would have a show on Thursday evening. So I'd have 3 shows in 25 hours, something like that. So usually I leave the lights and stuff all set up, but because I didn't do the Wednesday show today, I mean, I'm doing this one, but didn't do the lunchtime show because that's done for the year, and I've already been working, haven't really gotten to tomorrow's show, working on it now, but I mean, I haven't got it set up. So the studio's kind of haphazard, kind of not really, so I had to unplug everything, and I realized, oh wait, my earbuds weren't going. I didn't have those plugged in and all that. So I do a little situating around. So I've got my I got a little console. It's like I'm flying a plane. I got certain places I put everything and all that good stuff. So glad you guys are along. Let's pull the graphic up. I didn't even put the days in this whole mess, so we got to add 2 to it, so 84. I believe last hour, we reached 89 degrees. I believe GM and I were out. Let me double check and see what we reached at the top of the 5 o'clock hour, but I believe that was going to be the hottest of the day. And it was hot, but not like, well, it says it's 91. We reached 92 earlier, so we actually reached it last, I guess would have been the 4 o'clock hour. So I didn't think it felt in the 90s, but humidity's pretty light, and it felt very state fair like, which in this part of the woods, this would usually be last Friday would have been the opening of the state fair, and usually it's around my birthday, which we'll get to that in a moment. But the state fair usually opens the last Friday of the month, in corresponding with the 1st of October. So, of course, no state fair this year, but this very much like fair weather, warm in the daytime, and then one has some sleeves at night because it'll get a little bit chill. Let's go now to, I'm going to bring up the mic here. Sorry about that. I had to adjust the mic there for Mom. And I think I caught her off guard there. You okay there, Mom?
Yeah. I was doing.
I had to go get my earbuds a moment ago to make sure I could hear you. Well, I can still hear you, but other day I didn't have my earbuds. It was a bit of a. I had to turn the volume up real loud, and it was jamming hearing you. So how are things on on a Wednesday, every day of the week?
Well, I celebrated your birthday.
Did you? Did you go to the casino?
Yeah. Guess how I celebrated?
No idea, Mom. You're gonna tell me.
Went to the casino.
Oh. That's funny because when I talked, I just had a funny feeling that was where you were headed today. I don't know why.
Well, my neighbor, we decided to go in the middle of the week because it's such a shit show on the weekends, and sure enough, we got there about 11 in New Buffalo, and it was like, there was nobody there.
So you went to not the original, but the larger of the two.
Yeah. And so it was nice, and we got home about an hour or so ago. Um, so anyway, your chances of getting COVID when there's nobody around is pretty slim. So anyway, so I just wanted to let you know I celebrate your birthday even
Well,
without you.
I guess the big question is, did you win?
No, I mean I did cash out some that I wasn't completely destitute, but I spent your first month's inheritance. So there you go.
Okay, well, that's good.
Not
I
the
mean,
whole year's inheritance, but the first month's.
got David out there, Bobby, both appreciate your kind words today on the birthday thing. Yeah, I appreciate that.
So
Uh,
what have you done today?
let's see here.
You were up early. I know that.
You had Wednesday Bible study group
That's
on
true. I
Wednesday
remember that.
morning, and then Jim had a meeting with her class officers, but she didn't really. She was running a few minutes behind, so I had dog duty. So I started with the dog for 28 minutes and brought him back, and then I had my morning workout right after that. This is 8:30, so 9 o'clock to 10 something. Then did that, and then I did some work. As I mentioned, I sort of messed around yesterday. I didn't do a lot, and and I've kind of, and this happened to me. Didn't happen to me last week. It happened 2 weeks ago though. 2 weeks ago because I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago because it was the first time I didn't have a Wednesday show. I got plenty of time to do a Thursday show, so I blew it off till Thursday. I'm scrambling to get Paul the rundown for tomorrow night's show. So I actually worked on it on Tuesday and ahead of time. I'd forgotten I'd already done it. I'm thinking, boy, I got to work on Wednesday's show or Thursday's show, but I've already done it. Did the rundown, so I sent that to him and did a couple of odds and ends, and then I went and I delivered some clothes to Vickery Midtown Missions, those guys that I go to church with, and dropped off a whole bag of Gay Marie's clothes. She did clean a bunch of stuff out of the closets. We're getting so skinny here. We're running out of we're getting rid of our fat clothes, I guess. So
okay,
and then I went to the Fat Man shop and the guy that Paul, who helps me all the time, thought I'd lost some weight, he's the first person that's really said anything. No one else has said anything, but he's the first person that said something. And we actually got a hell of a deal on a $300 shirt for $70 and a couple more little fall type shirts. I don't have a lot of fall stuff because most of my stuff's, summer in Australia stuff and spring and summer in North America. So got a couple of those things. And then, it was actually Gay Marie met me there. She met me there at the store, and that's it. We came back, and she and I had a little bundt cake thing, and what else did we do? She gave me one of my presents came, and I had them on a moment ago, but I took them off. But I had a pair of sneaks, and then she got me a really cool watch. I haven't really worn a watch over the years, but this one will be great because it'll help me. I don't have to carry my phone to work out in, and I can leave. You don't have to always carry my phone around, but it's a Samsung smartwatch. It'll have my jams, heart rate, workouts, email. I don't have to always. I can part with my phone when I'm working because I had to carry that. Like this morning, for example, phone was going crazy, and I had to. It goes off when I'm working out, and I can look at my phone. And Caroline kind of got me into it. Caroline's got an Apple Watch, and so she just kind of. And actually, Joe Capietra oftentimes his watch will go off when we're interviewing for the pregame show, and he'll look at his watch, and Caroline does the same thing, and so I'm getting that. It's not here yet. So and then of course my wife's presents from last week that I ordered that. They were out of stock on it. Old Navy, they all came. Some of those came in today too that she got. So we both had birthdays today. So far so good. She's tutoring now, and then we're going to go grab a bite probably after, and we'll do most of our celebrating. Tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. I mean, we'll kind of because there's birthdays in the middle of the week. You kind of push it back to the weekend anyway. So.
Oh yeah.
But all good. But Mozzie in here.
You got a vulture in your
mosquito, Mozzie. A mosquito was in the room. I'm like, I guess they're running from the cold air in the house. But
I guess, yeah.
so what's going on up there in your neck of the woods, Mom?
Well, today was we got up early. We left. We got we went to the casino. We were leaving about 9:30, and we just got back about no an hour ago, and been busy. I haven't. Uh, One of the people I play trivia with, their Linda and Tim, their uncle got COVID, and so we didn't do trivia last night. So I've had 2 days of not doing
have
anything.
you guys been doing trivia at a place, right? I think you told me that last week, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, there's just four of us, Sherman and myself and Linda and Tim at Ruli's. It's an Italian place that is headquartered in Middlebury. When I was coaching cheerleading, they furnished when we go to Northridge to play, they would always send over pizza because their daughters were in it. Well, the food is not the greatest, but so we've been playing for the last 4 weeks or so, and nobody else in our group. We had 8 or so in our group, but nobody else is playing. But we played last week, but we didn't play last night because uh, Linda and Tim's uncle, Linda's uncle, got COVID, and then her dad, he's tested positive, but he has no symptoms, and they tested negative. So no sweat. But anyway, we didn't have trivia last night, so I've been just hanging out around here doing useless. Well, I've not useless things. I've been doing a lot of stuff for our virtual fundraiser, which is coming up at the end of October. Uh, Asking for money, in other words, is what I'm doing. So, anyway,
I'm amazed at how COVID or whatever you want to call it, pandemic or whatever, besides it being so smart, it knows the difference between football coaches and football players. I don't know how it does that. It knows, but how it's able to find its way even to the more, I mean, where you live is not a major metropolitan area, and it's found its way into the mainstream middle America. It's very, I mean,
well, see, the problem here
I'd be interested to see the COVID tracing on that. Be how those dots connected, where that got brought in.
yeah. Well, and the problem here, we were pretty high in cases in Indiana early on. We kind of dropped, but then it's kind of gone back up again. Uh, the problem, we are, during the summer, the RV industry, which we're kind of the headquarters for, you have a lot of people going back to work, and it. So you don't know. It's they try to take precautions, but you I don't know. But Sam told me last night that his friend Lalo's wife, who's a nurse at the hospital here, said their COVID unit, which is 7 beds, is full, and those patients are really sick, and they're going to have to add other beds. So it's taking an uptick a little bit here. But Friday night's football game was canceled due to the team we were playing. Their head coach, Plymouth, the head coach at Plymouth has COVID. So
the head coach got it, but the players didn't have it.
It just happened over the weekend, but they reached out to teams to play because it's homecoming Friday, and that's kind of a bummer.
Sure.
So a team over almost to Ohio called Eastside, I believe is the name of the school. They are a 2A school. They play like Jimtown and Fairfield, but they're ranked 3rd in that conference, in that division in the state. They jumped on the idea of playing. They had to negotiate. We had to give them 30% of the gate for them to come over here because it's 2 hours away.
Well, that probably covers. They're probably looking to cover their gas. I mean,
gas
because they're probably the bus. I'm assuming they would take a school bus, or they take like a Trailways or Greyhound.
I imagine they take school buses because that's what we do.
But I mean, I guess probably to break at least to break even on that, I would think, and they probably got to
Yeah,
pay.
yeah,
They probably got to pay a meal for the players when they're coming over. I don't know something. There's
yeah.
probably
Well,
some break
we
even
weren't
costs there.
we weren't going to play them unless they came here. That was the thing because it was
Well, you guys
homecoming.
had a homecoming game. That's what you just said. So why would you? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So
huh?
they
That
then
is
they
something
wanted to play
else.
us bad enough that because we're a 4A, I believe, and so that will be a
But
good experience.
I think a lot of schools are. I mean, it happened in the colleges the first couple of weeks, and I think a lot of schools, for example, TCA last weekend played. It was confusing because we were at that concert video on Friday. We were at the TCA couple parents who have a daughter who was in junior high, and well, you know her, you knew her as Melissa Quest, but Melissa Quest
Yeah.
Hayes and her daughter, the daughter I was talking to her husband, and see a Nate out there. Thank you very much, Nate. Appreciate you. Um, I they were saying he's like, oh yeah, we're playing a 5A school, which our 4A or 5A, which Princeton, which back in the day Princeton was a 1A or 2A. Now it's gotten so big, it's grown so far north of Frisco out there that Princeton's now a 4 or maybe a 5A. But what it was, they were playing Pittsburgh, which is a town in East Texas. Pilgrim's Pride, Pilgrim's Pride chicken and Bo
Oh yeah.
Pilgrim. That's
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Texas. They're playing. It was confusing. They're playing Pittsburgh, Texas, a 3A at a 5A stadium there in Princeton, and it was a little confusing for the fans. They were like, "We're playing Princeton, but it says we're playing Pittsburgh." They were confusing, but the thing happened very similar. That both teams, because the original schedule had them playing Cistercian, and well, Cistercian is not playing, so you had to scramble to get games, and that's not uncommon. That's happening a lot of places that
Yeah.
people are
Yeah.
scrambling to get games.
Yeah. Well, when we had a scary event yesterday in the neighborhood, um, we have a family. Actually, the grandson Takai plays football uh, for Sam, and there have been issues in that household. It's the grandparents. Apparently, it may be a druggy house. I don't know. Um, and the grandparents are retired, but the Takai's brother, who's 19, apparently there was a drive-by shooting in South Bend at a birthday party back in late August, and a little girl was shot. 7-year-old
Oh, it's
girl at a
terrible.
birthday party as a drive-by. Well, this person just shot into the crowd, but
Hmm.
this little girl she died. So yesterday we had these black vehicles. One of them came and drove around in our circle. My neighbor and I were sitting outside, and they went to the family that lives across the street from this family, and they went into the house and they told them that the Takai's brother, if they saw his vehicle, that he was the person of note. That apparently they must have had good information that he was the one that was firing shots. So so this was like midday. Then yesterday I was in my office and I can see the next door house, and I couldn't see because the person has parked their pontoon in the driveway, and I couldn't see down to that other house. But there was a car, and another black car that sat in front of the next door house that I could, next door to me. It sat there for a couple of hours, and there was somebody in it. So I didn't know what in the heck was going on. Well, then he left, but he didn't leave. Apparently, the young man, the 19-year-old that fired the shots, came home. The police were warned, and they blocked the end of our street. And this guy zipped down there. We had more police people than you could ever imagine, and they had him on the ground, tied him up, and he apparently they must have great information that he was the one that was firing the shots, or they wouldn't have gone to that extent. But he backed out of his driveway to go out, and all of a sudden he was blocked, and then he backed out to go back in his driveway, and then the person that was parked in front of my house, went stopped him. So and it was crazy, I don't, and I feel, and I called Sam because his brother Takai is one of Sam's players, and he said, well, he wasn't at practice today, so that probably explains why he wasn't there. something was going on. But you feel for a kid in that situation. His mom and his mom's current husband, they are in Indy, and he didn't want to live there. He didn't like it, and so it's oh, there's Deanne Supple.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Deanne. And so anyway, that was our excitement for yesterday. We had a murderer in the neighborhood, so that was apprehended. So,
well, I don't know if that's excitement, but
well, I couldn't sleep last night because of it.
well,
So anyway,
that's crazy.
yeah, it is. I mean, who in the world has a murder in their neighborhood? But he shot into the crowd. But he's been hiding for.
Do you remember? This may be going back, and you may not be. I'm gonna jog your memory here because I know you folks that are out there watching are probably going, "What are y'all talking about?" We were probably in junior high or so, and do you remember the police stakeout they had when the FBI arrested our neighbor across the street because he was involved in that big bank robbery at North Park Bank? Remember that? And he went to prison. It was I can't remember the name of the neighbors across the street, but they were all undercover cops were all staked out in like trucks and as yard workers and stuff like that. And then this guy came home. The whole street, including a helicopter. I mean, it was a cul-de-sac, so he wasn't going very far. But he came home. They blocked off the street. All of a sudden, police appeared out of nowhere. This is back in the early '80s. Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the guy, but they were that he was part of it was a federal, folks. It was a bank robbery of some sort at North Park Bank back in the day. I just don't know if you remember that.
Yes, it was scary, Deanne. Oh my goodness. It's scary to know that in your backyard there, so to speak, there's somebody that's up to no good. But anyway, and I feel for the kid that plays football for your brother. But who knows? He lives in the basement and apparently it's a drug house. We've got 2 of those in the neighborhood, so there you go.
Well, and she's right. We should probably live there. It's a lot safer in Perth than it is, no doubt, safer.
Probably so.
I know it's safer.
Does Deanne have a shed in the backyard that I could live in? I would be happy to.
We'll see if we can line that up for you, Mom. We'll see if we can line that up.
Yeah, because I loved Perth.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's an awesome place. I was just talking to folks there last night, but all good, Mom.
I'll get on the other side, and is Kevin online?
I've not seen him yet, but doesn't mean he's not around.
It's his friggin' turn. I want to see him in his crazy hat.
All right, love you, Mom. Love you. Great, thanks for checking in. Love you. There we go. There's my mom up in Indiana checking in today on Mom Cam right there, and yes. You got a spare room. Welcome anytime, Mom. So you got a place to stay out there in the West, and beautiful Perth. It's funny, and I say this to my Australia mates, and this is funny because I was in Melbourne at a restaurant back in Feb, and like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. I was there for the ABL, the Australian Baseball League Finals. And I was in this restaurant down the CBD and not too far from the market. And the gentleman, obviously the accent that I'm obviously from somewhere else, but we started talking. And I said, I spent so much of my time. I said, I love this country. I love Australia. I love being here. He goes, well, where do you spend your time in this country? He just assumed I was probably he just figured, you're in Melbourne or Sydney. I'm like, well, no, I'm not either one. I'm in Perth. And he's like, and I love it. He looked at me kind of funny, like, what? It's kind of a lot like Texas if you've never been here. And then when you come here, you realize the place is pretty badass. Perth's very much like that. Australia as a country is badass overall. It's just a really great, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. The people are just wonderful. And they know that they live right, which is a lot like a Texan does. Some Southerners, but Texans in general live right. And this guy was just taken back by the fact that, of course, he's Australian. So Australians in general, even Australians don't always realize how great Perth is. And it's beautiful. And I got a dear friend of mine, Wisdom is his name. That's his real name. He was actually stationed with the United States government in the West, in Perth. And he was telling me recently, a couple of weeks ago at dinner, he's like, man, I loved it there. And I said, if he wasn't married at the time, he's married now, but he says that we would definitely consider going back and doing that. In the words of the great Dwight Schrute, it's your birthday. Yes, it is. Yes, Kevin checking in there. Thanks, Kevo. Very good stuff. Kevin, very good. Yes, it's my birthday. Yes, my birthday, as I promised. I did break out the True Love today. True Love is this is the brewery that I broke out, that I talked about out of Fort Worth. It's made in Texas by Texans. You maybe see the light's kind of getting in the way there, isn't it? Let me turn the light off. Turn it down. How about that? Made in Texans by Texas by Texans. It's the Martin House Brewery across the top. They're the ones who made this is the raspberry sour ale. Kevin, remember that restaurant there in the St. Paul that I fell in love with, that raspberry sour ale, and I didn't know the brand of it. I didn't know. This is very similar to it. Very similar. The only difference is I think on draft, it'd be better because for some reason, I think personally, and this is just my personal preference, the shanties, the beers that have kind of fruity, summery, any of the beers that have some kind of fruity taste, it'll be the summer shanties, any citrus beer. I just think they're better on draft. I don't know why, because it really doesn't make sense. Now, in cans, they're okay. Bottles are usually really good. But for some reason, I think the raspberry draft always tastes phenomenal, almost ciderish. And but this is very good. This is the closest thing I've found, that raspberry ale. Although there was one I had in Wichita, a brewery out of Wichita. I don't remember the name of that one. And one out of Austin, but this one's out of Fort Worth. This is also the same brewery that makes the pickle beer that I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. It's Best Made pickle beer. Best Made. It's a pickle company in Fort Worth. And they make pickles, relish, pickled okra, pickled green beans, pickled, all kinds of pickles, sweet, dill, you name it. But they're known for their dill pickles, and their hamburger slices and their relish are legendary in these parts. And they have a beer, pickle beer. So anyway, good to see you guys out there today. Glad you're along. Yes, birthday for me. I had an interesting observation last night. Now, that was some of the worst TV I've watched ever. And I can't think of anything more uncomfortable, more of a waste of time. And it was something I'm trying to compare it to anything that I went and saw as a youth I remember back in the day, I went and saw the movie Reds. You guys remember Reds with Warren Beatty? And it got all this positive press. So it was this big epic movie Reds. And it was about the turn of the last century, about some Americans being in Russia and part of that whole Bolshevik Revolution. And it sort of sounded like pretty good topics, supposed to be a love story maybe. And it was Warren Beatty, who was making a big comeback. Of course, I loved him in Heaven Can Wait, when the Rams uniforms actually were the cool uniforms, not the crappy ones the Rams wear now. But I remember going to see Reds, and I remember taking a date at the time. And so it was the one you were going to go see. It had a lot of publicity coming out. And this is back in the 80s, like early 80s, whatever. And it would have this publicity, and it came out, and it was long, first off, about 3 hours. And it was just kind of like, meh. 3 hours of meh. 3-hour history lesson. I didn't want to sit through a 3-hour history class ever, although I love history, much less a 3-hour history movie ever. And so it was like, and I looked forward to as a matter of fact, I was in the store yesterday doing grocery shopping in the shops, and I almost bought popcorn thinking, you know what, we got to have some popcorn tonight. Let's have I had that same feeling I used to have back before Hollywood became political. I used to watch the Academy Awards. Back in the old days, I loved the Academy Awards, and we all did. I haven't watched them in years because all I do now is I see who won. Whoever won, then I watch all the ones that won. I don't really want to listen to the speeches, and I don't be told by Hollywood people how to live my life. Because again, if you're taking your leads from Hollywood people, athletes, and politicians, those leads are all pretty bad. And last night we got pretty bad leads. I still think that they should trick this thing up. Forget the mute microphones. Forget all that nonsense. They really want to find out if these two old guys can actually do I want to see if they do basic skills, because I know neither one of them can govern. I mean, Papa Biden can't govern, and we know what Trump's done. I mean, he's done some good things, but I mean, he's always blustering, and I mean, neither one of these guys are going to go down on Mount Rushmore. Okay, they're not going to go up Mount Rushmore, or they're not going to be. They're just not those kind of leaders. We're not talking about Ronald Reagan here, or John F. Kennedy, or Franklin Roosevelt, or Teddy Roosevelt, or Abe Lincoln. We're not talking about those kind of George Washington. These are not these leaders. We're talking about a couple of guys. What I think they should do, and I put this on Twitter yesterday, they should, this is what they should do. They should come out and they should start in their suits. I think the first thing they should do is they have in their suits, do a beer pong competition. And then during the middle of the beer pong, whoever wins the first round, they pause and they go to their closet, and they got to pick out in their closet. And I mean, not just their closet, a closet of clothes that fit them in sort of modern style, but give them a choice, but give them several choices, and make them come out of there dressed in something besides a suit. I want to see them something besides a blazer. I don't want to see him in a tie. I don't want to see him in a blazer and open collar. I don't want to see Trump in a jacket that says president. I want to see them in, normal clothes, a sweatshirt, sweater. I want to see if they can dress themselves without dressing like they're politicians. That's item number 2. Then they should be given a phone, unlock the phone for them, and say, okay, order us a pizza. I want a pizza, and I want extra cheese. Do you think those two clowns could order pizza? And I'm not saying, I don't care if it's even a Domino's app, or what I want them to do is order from my favorite pizza place. So whatever your favorite pizza place is, they've got to order from there and get it delivered. So they got to order it. They got to first off use the phone, which I don't think they can actually do that, although Trump does tweet a lot. They got to figure out the Domino's app, figure out the order, probably find their credit card, because Lord knows either one of them is carrying a wallet. I mean, it's all on our dime anyway. We're paying security for one of them and flying the other one around for free. I mean, they don't. Do you think politicians are broke? I mean, give me a break. Both these guys, neither one of these guys have ever worked a real job since they were teens, and they are so out of touch with what we're doing. They have I doubt they carry a wallet with a credit card or a debit card, and they got to remember their PIN like we do. I mean, they just don't have to do all that stuff. But I want them to be able to order a pizza, have it delivered, and then I want them to be able to order an Uber and go from point A to point B. I don't care where, but let's say, okay, and then go from the mall to the pub, and then from the pub back. And they got to make 2 stops. They got to order 2 Ubers to get themselves around on an Uber. I mean, I think that should be the third test. They should play cornhole. They should be in the backyard playing cornhole with the little bags, the little holes, and be playing that. And back to some more beer pong. I mean, they should do practical things that normal, practical male adults and really many females can do. I mean, most women, every person should be able to do these things. But I'm just saying, these are kind of guy things. But whatever it is, they should have to go and maybe could they order online anything? Can they order an Uber and delivery? Can they order their favorite pair of socks online? I mean, can they actually can they post a TikTok video? Can they post a YouTube video? Can they tweet on their own? Can they tweet on their own? Not a handler. I want them to be able to tweet. I want them to be able to go out, walk around town and post an Instagram photo or Instagram story. I want them to do things that we all do. I want them to be able to go to the grocery store. And then as they take the Uber, I want them to go to the local supermarket, and I want them to take 10 items that I give them on the 10-item grocery list. I want them to come back with those 10 items. And they can only go to the grocery store, and I guess they give them a 20-minute limit. They can't go in there and wander around for an hour because they're lost. I mean, basic things, chips, maybe a 6-pack, some lunch meat. I mean, keep it pretty simple, all right? And maybe dryer sheets. I mean, just maybe throw a curve. I mean, just the basics, because I'm not convinced that those two gentlemen can do the basics. The things that you and I do in America, as Americans, the basics, perhaps they should have to buy car insurance. Actually, themselves, not a handler, not a lawyer, not an accountant. They must call the insurance company and say, hey, Here's my VIN number. Here's my social. I want to buy car insurance. I mean, I think practical test, because that nonsense last night, all that showed me is that neither one of these two guys has any clue. And I've already made my mind up. It doesn't matter I'm not going to tell you who to vote for, and I hope you do vote your convictions, which I do. But let's see here. Kevin says, and Mom said, didn't waste my time on that debacle. It was a debacle. I swear, 10 minutes in, I was already 3, 2, 1. Where's the remote? And I was just like, I was so let down. I was so looking forward to this. I really thought, and really, for all Trump's blustering, and he was blustering, he was ridiculous. He kept interrupting Biden. It was ridiculous. I didn't like that. At the same time, I didn't learn nothing about Biden that I didn't already know, and I got nothing new, and I got no idea what he wants to do. I have no idea if he has any. As far as I'm concerned, his policies, there's better. This is what his policy looks like. It's this blank sheet of paper, because I learned nothing about what he's going to do. I have no idea. So Trump wouldn't stop talking. Biden didn't tell me anything. And here's poor Mike Wallace. It's his son. Wallace is right in the middle. And that guy needs a well-deserved break, because he was like refereeing kids in the playground. I was at Prince of Peace last week, substitute teaching, and my 5th grade kids were debating the merit of Tom Brady, 2 boys, Tom Brady and Drew Brees, who had just played 10 days prior. And they were debating in a civil tone who was better. One was arguing that, the body of work over the years, Brady's won more championships, but Brees is the better athlete, is better placed now. I mean, granted, pretty much the championships all aside, they were talking about who's better now, Tampa Bay Brady or New Orleans Brees, and I think now it's New Orleans Brees, but it's still pretty tight. And they were debating Dak, and they were talking about sport debates, and they were debating it, and they were more civil, and I was able to listen to them, and they both had great points. These are 5th grade boys, for crying out loud, who made more sense. Let's see what else we got here. Each of them, debate was double disqualification. Each of them gets an air horn they can use once, while the others, yes, I love that. And pizza's coming huge. I want a huge pizza, extra cheese, double pepperoni, anchovies on half, and onions on the other. Again, I don't think either one of those guys could pull that off. I don't think so. It's a practical skill that we all can do. Who out there cannot order a pizza? But I don't think those two guys could. They don't. The politicians, and this is for both sides of the aisle, okay? Both sides of the aisle in general. There's probably a few freshman-level congressmen and senators who are probably not the case, but most of these, this Nancy Pelosi, I mean, she has special handlers take care of her hair and all that for her. She doesn't make that appointment herself. You think Nancy Pelosi calls up her hair person and says, hey, I want to come in tomorrow? Somebody did that for her. They don't do anything for themselves. I'm surprised they wipe their butts themselves. I really am. But all these high muckety-muck politicians are all in the same boat. So to me, if they're not going to talk about policy, okay. If you're not going to explain yourselves, if you're a socialist, or you're not going to explain yourselves about what you stand for, if you're not going to explain, then I'm fine. Then let's see what can you beat somebody in beer pong? Here's one thing they should do. Can they construct a fantasy football lineup for 1 week? They got to draft a team and construct a lineup for 1 week. Not the whole season, for 1 week. I mean, they got to draft, put a team together, and not forget to if I let them play it the whole year, they would forget by week 2 that they had to put their lineup in. They'd be that guy, the one that forgets by week 3 or 4, and that's the easy win, and they forget, oh, crap, I didn't make my lineup again, and I've lost 2 in a row. That's what these two guys would do. I mean, these are skills that they should be able to pull off, and that would show me. Because if you want a cognitive test or a test of wits, that would tell me. Because all I'm learning from them right now is that they're both smart about not getting caught at a bunch of things they do wrong. They both got 9 lives, and it's politicians in general. I mean, I am not inspired. I mean, statesmen don't inspire me because there's no statesman anymore. I mean, there's not. So anyway, I did notice this did you guys notice this last night? Neither one of the gentlemen, and there was a debate about this on Twitter a little bit, not a debate. Neither one of them were wearing the wedding band. Did you guys notice that? Neither man who are both married, whose wives came on stage, neither man had a wedding band on. Now, Wallace did, but Biden and Trump didn't. I found that interesting. I don't know the reason for that. There has to be a reason. Maybe it's because they're on the podium. When they hit the podium, is that going to hit and distract the microphone? Well, in Biden's case, the tablet he was reading, because the guy has to be prompted. But I mean, is that the reason why? I know when I'm broadcasting a game, I'll oftentimes take off my college ring and I'll set it aside because my hands will get a little sweaty in the summer. And I'll set it aside because I'll wear this rubber ring. That way my hands won't click when I'm running my board. I'm running my board, and I run the board and I broadcast myself. And sometimes I'll be blindly running it while I'm looking around over here in my laptop. And if I'll click it, and it might, it makes it easier. So I don't know why, but I found it crazy that neither one of them were in their wedding band last night. Neither one. I don't know why that would be. And I noticed that. My wife and I both were like, and there was a debate. One of my good friends, David Chomsky, did say that there was a generation of folks that wasn't there. Apparently older folks are not as inclined to wear them. Okay, that may be true. I don't know. I do know when my grandparents on my mom's side got married, they couldn't afford 2 wedding bands. They just got one. My grandmother had a wedding band, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mom. And then down the road, they bought my grandfather a ring later on in life, and it was very nice. Believe me, they when they went to their grave, they could afford many a ring, so it wasn't an issue. But when they started out in life as young teens, in back in the 1920s, they were they didn't have but what they had basically on their backs. They were self-made people, and they only had enough to get one ring. But eventually, so I can see that. But I can tell you right now, if I was running for office, my wife would expect me to have my wedding ring on. I can tell you right now. We went to church on Sunday. Expect to have my. Now, granted, if you're at the pool or at the beach, or you're doing something, I'm walking in the morning, doing my workout. Although I can wear this, that's why I have these. So I can go to the pool in these, go to the beach in these. We went to Belize. I wore this the whole time. It didn't matter if I lost this piece of rubber or not. But I just couldn't believe that these 2 politicians and neither one of them, and not only no one noticed it. Mom says I just see them go grassroots, raise more money for nonprofits. I'm knee deep in efforts. Now it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. I think it's tough for everybody. I was just, like I said, went to the Fat Man shop today, bought a couple of shirts, and it's tough. It's tough. The guy, my mate Paul, who runs the shop there, is the manager of the one there. It's their flagship store, the Metroplex. DXL's one of their flagship stores in the country. Their inventory was down a little. They still brought a lot of inventory in, but usually their October starts to get rid of their September, October is a busy time, and start really ratcheting up toward the holiday. But online things have been going great, but it's just tough on everybody. There's not many businesses except for maybe the folks that manufacture hand sanitizer and make masks, but in general, a lot of places are scuffling. Even their best brands. Mom says my dad wore a ring, but it was never. Yeah, he wore a ring later in life, though. Mom, they bought a ring when I was at Tech. Grandmother bought him a ring at the jewelry store in Lubbock, and I can't remember the name of that place that was in Lubbock. Still there. Anyway, it's where she bought the ornaments as well. Grandmother bought him a ring, and it was a goldish ring. You know the one I'm talking about. I think it had like a reddish stone to it. She got that for him later in life. He did wear that as a wedding band. He didn't wear, but when you were married, you had it. I recall my grandmother Vaughan wearing her wedding band, despite my grandmother Vaughan being no longer with us. And then I look at my in-laws. They wear their bands, and they're in the same. They're in the same same age bracket. So Chomps brought that up. I don't know how true that is. Am I wrong about that? Or is it still a big thing not to wear rings if you're in your 70s? But I've always thought that was a big deal. I mean, the wedding band is always, I mean, I thought it was a bigger deal for younger folks not to wear it. Because a lot of times these younger people get a tattoo right here saying, they'll get a tattooed wedding band on there or tattoo the name of the person they're married to. But I can just tell you, yeah, he had one, Mom. I remember it. Don't know more to tell you, but yeah, I was kind of, I want to say I was, let's answer this call in the air live. Let's go live now to my to my oldest in Lubbock. Can you hear me? Over.
I sure can.
Sorry, let's see. I'll put you up the speaker. You're calling me while I'm live on Happy Hour. So how you? Yeah, how's that?
Sorry to call you and interrupt.
No, we're just having a happy hour on that talk machine, that Facebook Live.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll crack up open a cold one before class. I'm sure that'll go really well.
It will go well, especially the students. I think you're really cool.
Sorry, say that again.
So the students will all think you're really cool and groovy for having a beer in class.
I just crack open an ultra right while on my Zoom class.
Or you can do what I used to do, just go to J. Patrick O'Malley's and just skip class altogether. That's what I used to do.
Yeah. I'll do that. That'll go really well in grad school.
That's the reason why you're in grad school and I didn't go to grad school, because you're a much better student. You're a much better student than I am, kiddo. So yeah, you got it. You caught us live on a Happy Hour. How about that?
Well, that's awesome. I'm sure they're all thrilled to hear my voice.
They are. Mama Cece's out there probably just going crazy. I think she is.
Cool. Well, hi, Mama Cece.
Yeah, Mommy, you're paying attention, right? She was on a minute ago, but she
cracked open a cold bottle of wine, I'm sure.
Yeah, she did. She did crack open a cold bottle of wine. She did. But yeah, you got us right there. Well, I appreciate you calling. I guess you're calling for somebody's birthday, I guess.
Yeah, some guy, my stepdad. Yeah, I was calling to wish him a happy birthday, but I just got the radio host instead.
There you go. Yeah. Caller, you're on the air. Caller, you're on the air. Yeah, well, I'm glad you called, though.
Yeah, well, happy birthday. I'm about to head into class, but I didn't want to call you too late because I get out at 9. So
all good.
Just wanted to call you before you retired for the night. So,
gotcha. Well, I'm glad you called.
Cool. Well, have a good day. I love you.
Love you too.
And have a good show. I'm sorry I can't tune in. I just got to jump into class, but
all good. Love you, kiddo. Have a good class. All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
There you go. That is that's the oldest. She's calling from Lubbock. That's Joy and live. How about that? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. She love hearing from Joy. Having a glass of Pinot Noir. She actually texted this morning. I was up and at him. So, but yes, thought we'd take the call live on there. How about that? Get to hear from the oldest from Lubbock. But anyway, yes. And the reason Chomps was saying, David Kerr was saying, we and him are going back and forth about this a little bit. He had hit home to me last night because he went and got his ring for Holly. He's getting married to Holly, and congratulations to them, and very cool stuff. So all good. What else is going on? Tomorrow night, Talking Baseball Australia Live returns. As I mentioned, there's no Wednesday show, which is great, except, I hope I don't get in this habit of not sending in the run sheet to Paul, and I hadn't done that. So I got to get off this and send in the run sheet. But we have the owner of the Brisbane Bandits. He'll be joining us tomorrow night. Mark Reedy will be joining us from there in Brisbane, and we'll be talking about the Bandits and the ABL. And I know it's kind of an odd thing. It's 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 a.m. in Perth on Friday. It's Thursday night in the States. Paul's over there. I'm over here, and that's how we make it work. So we'll make it fly tomorrow night. Looking forward to it. Tracy, good to see you. Craig, I'm in Canada. Good to see you as well. Glad you guys are along. What else is going on this week? Besides the day, again, we'll do the show tomorrow night. It's been weird. This is what's weird. We went to I told you when we went to a show on Friday, but every time about this time of week, it's Wednesday. I start counting down to the weekend like we all do. And I feel like I should be going to watch my nephew Maxwell play football. And it's so we have to go find us a TCA or a private school game or something. Maybe we'll go. I don't think the DISD games are going on yet because there's a stadium 3 blocks from our house, a little high school, not a little, seats about 15,000 probably, high school stadium. We should probably go watch whatever, but I don't think they're playing until next week. I don't think. Let's see what we got here. Thank you very much, Tracy. Thank you very much. But yeah, we are going to be around because actually tomorrow night, Caroline is actually, she's off on Friday, and I don't know really why she's off at University of Dallas on Friday. That's the youngest, but she's off on Friday, and she is going to come and hang out with us tomorrow night, Friday night, Saturday, and so we're going to have a weekend with Caroline. So it's exciting. And but I didn't know that until this afternoon. But apparently, there must be some kind of. It may be their fair day, but again, of course, the state fair is not going on. Astros freed up the Twins. Yes, they can help clean South Minneapolis. I thought about that tonight because actually, Paul and I are going to talk about that tomorrow night on our show. Paulie asked me last week what I thought about who I thought would be the team to beat in the postseason. I love the White Sox of the American League. I think that was the team. He liked the Twins, and the Astros made quick fodder of them. And somebody brought this up too here in the Metroplex. What if the Astros, this mediocre at best Astro team, was to make it to the World Series? Would that take away some of the sting and disdain and dislike for them that they wanted or made the World Series in a pandemic year when everything was so wheels off, as opposed to when they made it with the trash can? Would that help their cause? Would history be kinder to Houston if they made it this year to the World Series and maybe won the thing in a COVID year? I don't know, but I love that they can play South Minneapolis. Yes, TCA memories. TCA, they're Trinity Christian Academy. We went to school. Love that place. We had a great time last Friday night with a bunch of TCAers and saw petty theft. I mentioned that on Monday, but got to hang out with some good fun. Dear friend Billy Boss, a couple years ahead of us, Kaylin, and my wife, and Lisa Katner, and Melissa Quest Hayes, and Thomas Schweinsberg. We had a great time. Great time. Yeah, lucky you, Mom. You get to see, and that's the thing. It's so bizarre because you'll see parts of the country playing football, in parts of the country not. And really, in this state, you're seeing places playing and places not. Usually tomorrow night, because usually Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday afternoon, the stadium here at Hillcrest has got 3 games over the weekend. They'll have, because it's a DISD stadium, and because land is so hard to come by over the years, all the high school football stadiums in the Dallas district, a lot of them were torn down for expanding campuses, and they've got maybe 4 or 5 stadiums across the Metroplex or across the city they use. But like all the stadiums used to be 4 or 5, and there's only like 3 of them now. But they're nice. They're really nice, and they all use the same one. Not the same one, but they do use that. But so Thursday night, you'd hear the band over there, but I haven't heard the band. But the DISD just went back this last week. So, but the suburban schools have been playing. They've been going. Some of the private schools, I know Prince of Peace played, Trinity Christian played last weekend. But then again, Cistercian and St. Mark's aren't playing, although I'm hearing St. Mark's may be playing. But yeah, Mom, you're lucky. It sucks to see Maxwell, but my nephew that's a senior, I mean, I couldn't imagine what would happen to me if I'd been robbed of that senior year experience in football. I've been crushed. Yeah, great picks. They were fun. We had a great time up there, and we're going to do some more of that stuff, getting together, TCAers as well. Let's see here. Kevin says every time, I would love to see Astros in the World Series and everybody. Yeah, that's the thing. And I wonder if I think I'd feel differently about them. I don't think would erase. Well, how can you erase an asterisk with an asterisk, right? You've got 2 asterisks, and they're both for different reasons. You have the COVID World Series they won, and you have the trash can World Series. They don't cancel each other out, and I kind of think that, and we're a forgiving country as it is, except when it comes to politics. So maybe we'll forgive and forget. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Mom says the same thing. Yeah, Tracy, TCU this weekend. Who they got this weekend? They got Texas, right? Down in Austin. Is it Austin or is it in Fort Worth? TCU, I believe they're playing the Horns. I think that's correct. Tex got K-State up in Manhattan, the Little Apple, the place I parked in the hayfield and got hay fever for weeks back in the day. Saw the first Big 12 game ever in Manhattan, Kansas, back in the August, early September of 1996. Yes, we did. Yeah, in Austin. So good luck with all that. Yeah, I mean, I think my nephew would be robbed. I think he'd have made All-State this year. And it sucks. Yeah. Yeah, Austin's down in Austin. Yeah, it sucks. But, yeah, it's I hope you guys beat him. I don't really pull for TCU one way or the other. I mean, although I did send a picture of the mascot over to some friends in Australia because I thought it was cool, and it go along with a name they're thinking of for a team over there that looks a lot like the mascot, looks a lot like the TCU Horned Frog, and that's why I sent it to them. But all good. Yes, and I saw the big debate too. Now this sounds like, of course, first off, congratulations to Patrick Mahomes, going to be a dad. The funny thing was his mom, I believe, Brandy, I believe is her name. And by the way, I've had a chance to meet both parents and talk at length with Pat Mahomes Sr., Patrick and Pat, the former big league pitcher. Young Patrick was shagging fly balls and going to BP as a young man, as a little kid when his dad was the big leagues. His dad was a big leaguer, mostly a Twin, but a Yankee, has a dear relationship with Alex Rodriguez. But Patrick, who Red Raider fans and Chiefs fans call, and Pat, his father, well, the ESPN crew on Monday night were calling him a lot more times Pat. He is Patrick Mahomes the third, I believe. But they kept calling him over and over Pat, and his mom got tired of it. So she tweeted ESPN, and I know a mom who did the same thing. My mom would probably be right there if folks were mispronouncing my name or calling me Doug instead of Dan. She'd be all over. So I think Patrick's mom is a woman after my mom's own heart. I think so. Let's see here. I'm not a huge fan of TCU. I hope you guys, as long as you don't, I hope you beat Texas, but I hope you don't ever. I mean, I got no horse in that fight. Okay, no horse in that fight, Tracy, at all. Although, like I said, the mascot really cool. And when I saw this potential mascot over in Australia and one of the new teams over there, I said that looks a lot like a horned frog. And I sent them. I said, this is a fun looking mascot. This is one you can model yourselves after. And they were like, oh, yeah, it looks really cool. So all good. All righty. What else we got? Anything else today? Anybody else got anything? Anybody else? My wife just wrapped up her tutoring for the day. I think she did. But, yeah, so congratulations to Patrick Mahomes, the Red Raider. And actually, you know what? I'm going to share this with you guys. I thought this was really cool today. Let me share this with y'all, if you don't mind. Let me find this here. The one thing about there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad about social media. We know that, right? I mean, social media is a mess. It can mess with elections. It's messes with your head, all the things. And I know there's this really crazy, not crazy, but there's the social media documentary I want to see. But one of the things I think I love about social media, if I can find this for you guys, is the things that it can do, like today. Social media can tell you tells you what you want to buy, where to go. It can read all these algorithms. It knows what you like. Do you like beer? Do you like wine? Do you like Austin? Do you like San Antonio? Do you like the Cowboys? Do you like the Eagles? You go to a website. It'll send you things from there. Heck, I even bought a shirt online, and my wife just slammed the door on the line online. I just bought a shirt that I saw online, an algorithm like that. For all those negatives, the positives are things like today, where it started last night, 10 o'clock Central Time. I started to hear from my friends and mates in Australia. It really actually started about dinner time. Paul texts me 7 a.m. over there in Australia, 6 o'clock over here. The happy birthdays over and over again. It's so cool to see that. So cool. I'm going to bring my wife in here, but I was just saying that why she's on there twice. But for all the negatives, you there, babe?
Yeah, I went off Wi-Fi, so it kicked me off.
Oh, well, for all the negatives, the real positive social media is days like today. I mean, it's days like today that.
Did everybody sing happy birthday to you?
Why would everybody sing happy birthday to me, babe?
Oh no, because it's your birthday.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess. I mean, I suppose. I mean, sad to see Mac Davis passing. Did you see that, by the way?
Yeah,
Gina?
that was sad.
Lubbock legend passed away yesterday, so it wasn't on my birthday, but it really sucks. Did anybody ever see North Dallas 40? Did you ever see that movie, babe?
No. Go.
It was great. I mean, he was great in that. Really, really good in that. He played the quarterback of the mythical Dallas Cowboys back in the day, and really, really good. Really good movie. Trying to find. Here we go. I put this on the. I don't know if you saw this, babe. You might be able.
He peed for the whole world to see. There you go, buddy.
Trying to put my screen up for you guys to see, but I don't know why it won't show up. Huh. Facebook's changed everything, so it's so confusing. I don't like the new layout, but I guess I'll get used to it. Here we go. Here's what I was going to show you guys. Let me click on it here so I can screen share this. And let's screen share this. Did you see this, honey? I don't know if you saw this, but this was what the T-Bones put up online for me.
Oh yeah, nice.
I'm gonna put on the screen. I'm gonna put on the full screen so you won't be able to hear for a moment. But there we go. That's what the T-Bones put up on the.
Nice. Oh, sorry, buddy. Get it.
The dog there. Yeah, T-Bones put that up, which I thought was really cool of them. And they also did a Twitter post too, which I thought was really special.
Back?
But yes, I'm coming back. Sorry about that. I was. Oops. Sorry about that. There we go. Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Over. Can you hear me? Over. GM, over. Can you hear me? No, yes. Babe?
I think you disappeared. Where did you go?
I don't know what's going on with you. I don't know where she is. Let's try it again. You hear me now? Hello?
Are you there?
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna try.
What she did there, but all good. Let's play catch up. Let's see here. Yes, they did start the Ravens bandwagon. The announcers did on Monday. Yeah, and I saw this post too. Did you guys see this online where somebody said it's been a great 2020 for been a bad 2020 for everybody except for Mahomes? That's pretty much true. Did you lose your sound? Oh my God. Sorry about that. Yeah, party like it's my birthday. I'm going to party, I guess. Okay, my wife's back. Let's try it again. Let's see if she's back. Did we lose you there?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I lost you.
Sometimes when I go to full screen like that, it doesn't send that to Paul sometimes. I don't know why it does that exactly, but anyway. So what's going on out there? Oh, there you go. He's doing his snooping around, huh?
No, he's about to. There you go.
Well, don't film him. What's wrong with you? Poor guy. Poor guy. No, I'm taking him off the screen. Hold on. Poop cam. Yeah, I guess. All right. Poop cam, I guess. Yeah, poop cam for the dog. Poor guy.
Poop can.
Poor guy. That's not fair. He doesn't have any defense mechanism to that. That's not nice. What's wrong
Oh,
with
it's
you?
funny.
Poor guy.
Having trouble with the bag.
All right. Well, what else is going on? How was your tutoring, sweetheart?
It was good. It was my young one, and she's so cute. She has she's easily distracted by the animals. Um, she loves the cat. Um, but she's good. We're working on reading comprehension, and it's interesting because it's a stark contrast from what I'm doing in about 15 minutes the other with the other girl. Who's probably
Gotcha.
working on a big paper. You know,
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
like that there's a wide variety.
Okay. All right. All right.
Never the same thing. Okay, well I will
Love you.
see ya. Happy
See
birthday.
you later. Thank you, babe. There we go. WD-40 with poop cam too with the dog. Lovely and talented wife, along with the dog. Max says he's. It's funny. Animals are funny, and our two are like everybody else's animals. I don't know if you guys are like this too, but have you gone back to a normal schedule yet? Have you gone back, for example, for us? It was us all summer. We were here. I mean, we'd leave. He would be worried we weren't coming back. The only time we were gone from him, we went to Lubbock in June and we went to Arkansas in July. But by and large, both animals got used to us being home all the time. And suddenly, he's finally realized it's back to school routine. And the cat's adjusted too. For example, before the alarm goes off this morning, she's already up and making sure Mama's going to get up. Right? I mean, she's already whinging at 6 a.m., for the alarm going off. And then when the alarm goes off, she makes sure you don't forget, because that means she knows the alarm goes off. That means it's time for her to get her food and the day is going to begin, because she's, after all, a cat. She's been up all night, right? Anyway, the dog, he's funny because for a while there, when during the daytime, he would come up here some. When Game Marie was downstairs doing whatever she was doing, he would come up some, but he most of the time would stay downstairs on the couch and sort of between the two of us, or more or less watching over her. But now when she goes to school, this morning on my Bible study Zoom, he was behind me. He was out in the hallway. Last week when I was shooting Talking Baseball Australia, and Game Marie went and got food, he was out in the hallway. When I did my T-Bone show last week when she was in school, he was out in the hallway. I mean, he's right there now. He knows that he's got to be hanging out with us. So pretty funny. Actually, message me except tuning from Coppell. Few looking post. Damn cat. You can't what? What's with the cat? Did the cat get out? Oh, the cat woke you up. Okay. What are you talking about Zoom, babe? Oh, I can. It's all Zoom these days. Okay. Yeah. What's your website, sweetheart? It's give it to me and I'll. She actually has a website. Hold on, let me find it for you guys. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Here is her tutoring website. You don't mind me doing that, babe, all right? It's not going to matter. Let's put this on the screen for you guys. There's her tutoring website. Let me pull the widgets down so you can see it. And pull this down. That's her tutoring website right there, GMWV right there. But here we go. Yes, you can share it. No problems. No worries at all. As a matter of fact, I'll actually screenshot this one for you guys. I'll share this screen. Let's share this one. This is her little website she's got. It's kind of cool. A little private tutor site. She does a great job. Let's we'll put this in the put this down. There we go. There's her website right there. Neat little Wix site. It's really good. There it is right there for you. So you can see that. But or you can, or Tracy, you can message her, message me. We'll get you set up and all that. But all good right there. But yes, we'd love to. She'd love to have you guys do that. But what I was saying about social media too, and I'm going to pull this. Actually, I'll pull the Twitter page up because it was kind of cool. Where is it? Or is it? Or is it? Here we go. Oh, let me find it here. Sorry, guys. Talk amongst yourselves. This would have been the post that was done. Got some great shot. Here's the one that the T-Bones did here, and I love this. This is the Twitter when they did. Oops, hold on. And let's pull this down here. Let's share this one. What I was saying about social, I'm going to close this thing out, guys. What I was saying about social media, there's a lot of bad, okay? We know this, right? We know that social media can be a mess. And it's a lot of polarizing things. A lot of people have opinions. You know, everybody's got one. Here's the Twitter shout out right there. There we go. T-Bones did right there. Love it. Also got one from Groobs, the music and music guru of the Stars and the Rangers, former ticket guy. Yeah, I got that. A lot of fraternity brothers tweeted that. But with LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, a lot of people to get back to it. Try to get back to everybody personally. But what I was saying was, and this is my thought about the whole thing. All right, now, yes, a lot of bad about social media. We all agree about that. We all agree that social media can be bad. But Talking Baseball Australia did too. But what social media can do, it can help you find products, and it can figure out what your tendencies are. It can, what your website likes and preferences, and where you go, and your Google, and all these things it can do, which is pretty damn scary. What it can't do is tell you guys that I love you. It can't do that. Now, what it can do is make me feel loved from you guys. And what it can do for me is to respond back in kind that I love you guys too. And I think that's a special thing. That to me is the greatest thing that this social media can do, because if you drop all the negatives and all the punching and all the politicizing and all the, whatever you want to call it, all the nonsense that goes on, at the end, it's really more about, hey, man, I hope you have a great day. Happy birthday. Love you. And that to me is the best thing this little social avenue can do. Now, granted, probably others will debate me wrong on that think that, it's better to monetize it and make products and all, it's what's there for that too. But I think it can't actually tell me you love me, but it can actually make me feel loved. And that's what you guys did today, all the shout outs. And I hope that when you have a birthday, it does the same thing. I hope that it does it. Says social media connects us. I'm sorry. Social media connects us in so many ways. Some are bad, but mostly good. Yes, I agree. And Mom actually brought that up, when I first got on years ago. It does connect us. It does. But again, I can't. What to me the power of it is, the best thing it is that, again, it doesn't tell me it loves me, but it makes me feel loved because you guys tell me you love me through it, and vice versa. And to me, that's the power of it. And that's the greatest thing is, again, I heard from people from all around the world today. So that's my take on it. And I don't know how you feel about it, but it's social media. It is what it is. But I think the good is good. I can't think of anything more like that in life. Maybe okay, let me rephrase that. There's a lot of, I believe that religion is really, really good, but there also can be some bad things about it with people do things that they shouldn't be doing. That's anything in life's like that. Food, booze, anything you do can be good or bad can be a little bit of good and a little bit bad. But I really believe that social media, maybe the biggest thing of this whole deal is that social media can really be good when it really wants to be good. And right now it really wants to be good. Boy, I get a lot of things here. Yeah, I would have had to track you down harder. Still would have married you, babe, but it'd been a little harder to get to you. But yes, I totally agree. And it's hard. I think, Tracy, you're right on. I said this to my wife. Once this election cycle is over, some of the nonsense, you're going to still see some conspiracy stuff. And gosh, God forbid all the things that are going to happen post-election in the country. But once we get the spring, well, that's going to die down for a while, until we ranch it up again in about 2 more years. We'll get it 2 years off, whatever. Yeah, you never get a chance to adopt Kevin. I'm able to, the thing is, like, for example, I'm outside grilling last night, and Paul texts me from Australia, he and his wife, for happy birthday. Awesome. That's all, it's a great, just, those are the kind of things that I'm able to keep up with. Paul's knows it's my birthday because of that. Yeah, thanks to my mom. Mom got me on here, and that's, that's right. Harold, what's up, my man? Good morning, mate, in Australia. It's about 24 after the hour of 7 on a Thursday. Good to see you, Harold. Good to see you, mate. But yeah, it's and again, today the well wishes for the birthday came from guys like Harold in Perth last night, from people that I was pledge brothers with, guys I played sports with, went to high school with, girls I knew, grew up with, church friends, friends of my wife, friends of ours, TCA friends, tech friends just from school, people from every, my Kansas City friends, my Kansas City baseball family. All these people from all around it's an amazing thing that social media does. And that's the good part of it. So I'm really good at that. Yeah, there you go. See, I appreciate it. Yeah, your Wednesday connection. That's awesome, Tracy. Yes, until we all meet up, we're going to do something. We were actually talking about that last Friday. We were doing a thing last fall. We were on the right track doing a TCA deal where we had multiple classes meeting, and like a Saturday night place up in Addison. I can't remember where we were at, but we'll put Kaylin and my wife back in charge of that. They were in charge of that before, so we'll get them to do that. But all good. All right, guys. Again, tomorrow night, Talking Baseball Australia live at 6 o'clock Central Time in the States, 7 a.m. in Western Australia. Mark Reedy will join us from Brisbane, talk about the Brisbane Bandits and all that implies. And then we'll be back at this thing again on Friday, same time, same place. It's 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time as we roll virtual happy hour. What a long today, but birthday time. Besides told you I'd have a beer, mentioned I had the True Blue and out of it now. So much love. Glad we chatted today. Just kind of had a good chat, a little birthday chat. Appreciate it. And I always say, much love to all you guys. Yeah, I count you guys in. Yeah, I count you in for sure. No doubt about it. We had a really good meetup. I think it was last October. It's so weird because it feels like March onwards been a different life, and then before March was a different life. Does that make sense? Sort of. And thank you very much. Appreciate it as well. Yeah, it's weird. We feel like March before, BC 80, that kind of deal. Well, before March, we had that life, and then after March. But yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, guys, the big hug. Big hug to all you guys. We always say this. Let's be better tomorrow than we were today. Let's love more tomorrow than we did today. Let's keep going forward. Let's keep getting better. Let's keep firing away, and let's just try to fight through all this, whatever it is. Let's get going, and let's hopefully next time we have a presidential debate, they'll play cornhole and do a beer pong, and one of them will have to, not to order a pizza and post a TikTok video. Then I'll be ready to vote, okay? And yes, I am too, Mom, and hopefully Christmas time, hoping that we can line something out. We need to probably have a chat about that on Sunday, Mom, about lining something out, because I was just thinking today, I haven't seen my brother in Indiana, my mom, and I mean, we were supposed to go to Italy for crying out loud. We didn't. So all good. What a great show. Thanks to my oldest in Lubbock for stopping by via phone on accident. My wife, my mom, all you guys for stopping by. Again, the big virtual hug. Love y'all. And let's put the visuals up there and let's just close this thing out. We'll see you guys on Friday in 3, 2, 1. Have a great rest of your Wednesday night. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to the greatest human being in the world. Happy birthday to